Uh-huh. 2020, am I right? Good thing it's almost over so the universe can undo all the bad stuff. Gonna try and stick to 2 questions a person. It's been a crazy year, and it's time for some crazy questions. How do you make grilled cheese? So I subscribe to the Kenji Lopez alt method, where you toast the inside of the bread first, butter on the pan, low heat to ensure consistent toasting, and once you have the insides toasted, you can begin to assemble. Now, I think 3 cheese is probably the most complex flavor without getting too convoluted. 4 cheese is a bit much. I like to go cheddar, American, Munster, but the American is really only there for the emulsifying salts to get that melty consistency. So if you want that same stretchy, melty, whatever, with a more adult cheese than American, then I'd say just, apply a moderate dose of sodium citrate, and that should do the trick. Once you have that assembled, go ahead and throw some more butter on the pan, put the sandwich on top of the butter on the pan, and apply weight. And if you don't have weights, then just consistent pressure with a spatula. I'd also recommend salting both sides, and if you think that's a bit much, then, you probably shouldn't be eating a grilled cheese sandwich in the first place. And once you have the sandwich consistently toasted on both sides, I recommend cutting into triangles. You can cut it vertically, but it's just not as good, and horizontally, that's just unhinged. What's the best dish you've cooked in Christine Choy's apartment? She would probably tell you it was the Thanksgiving turkey, and I'm pretty proud of how that turned out. But between you and me, I cooked this cut of lamb the next week. That was... it was pretty good. Opinions on meatballs. Yeah, meatballs are pretty good. I'm a big fan of meatball subs. And it's weird, because I'm not a big fan of meatloaf, and I feel like meatballs are just smaller, spherical meatloafs. But they're pretty good, so, maybe it's because people put ketchup on meatloaf? I never understood that. The bread shape in general. I don't know. Meatloaf just doesn't make sense to me. How would you rate Shrek 2001? It's definitely a 10. I haven't seen it in a while, but it's Shrek. What's really underrated, though, is the Shrek PS2 game. That has story, world building, crazy obstacles, and even different fighting modes you can unlock. That game has it all. Okay, so I was conflating 2 games. There's the Shrek 2 PS2 game, which is great, but it doesn't have it all. It has some of it all. Shrek Super Slam is the other game I was thinking of. In any case, what's not to love about Shrek? Do you play games? If you do, which type do you prefer? Story-driven games or gameplay-driven games? Well, I play Shrek video games, evidently. And wow, what a perfect question. We've got the Shrek story game and the Shrek fighting game. I remember the fighting not being great in the Shrek fighting game, so I'll probably go with Shrek 2 over Super Slam, but that might have more to do with the specifics of these individual games. I don't know. I'm not much of a gamer. I played Mario Odyssey. It's pretty good. I didn't play The Last of Us just because I don't think I have a console that can run it. I've heard it's pretty good. I'd like to one day, but there's just so much stuff. Shows, movies, books, recipes. The other thing is I watch shows and movies primarily, so what separates a game from a movie is gameplay. So I guess I would say more gameplay based stuff, but I guess the ideal, the platonic ideal of a game would be using gameplay to tell a story in a way that can't be done in film or TV. I don't know. I don't play enough games, and I probably never will. I want to. I genuinely want to, but it's just... there's just too much shit. There's just too much shit out there. What's the best decom, and why is it Read It and Weep? I haven't seen Lemonade Mouth spelled like that before. That's interesting. How'd you get that mustache? Well, it's actually a pretty funny story. So, one day, I didn't shave, and I continued to not shave for a really long time, and before I knew it, there it was. But I also had a beard, so once I shaved that, lo and behold. Does having a mustache feel funny? Well, it is actually more noticeable under a mask than when I had the full beard, which I guess makes sense. But the funnier feeling is when I look in the mirror and realize that this is probably peak self-parody. The mustache isn't here to stay. I'm sure it won't stick around much longer, but I'm having fun with it. So, what's a scene that always makes you laugh? Well, for some reason, the immediate one that comes to mind is from that HBO short film or really short feature, 7 Days in Hell. There's this one tennis match. I mean, the whole thing is like, it's funnier than it should be. It's honestly pretty good. But there's this one match, and it's not a particularly clever scene, I don't think, but just the antics fucking kill me, as you can see on my face right now. What are your honest feelings on Warner Bros. Releasing all their big titles straight to HBO Max this coming year? Well, I'm certainly not the most privy to the business end of film, which is probably not great for my career, but I get that they have to, make their quarterly or yearly earnings. Well, what really doesn't make sense is dropping them all at once. I don't know if they're still doing that, but obviously I want to see any movie in theaters that I can. If it's not possible, then, they gotta do what they gotta do. It does feel like they're kind of jumping the gun a bit, I will say. But again, I don't know. I don't know anything. It's also weird that Dune, of all things, is the one movie that's like, no, we're different. We're not gonna... I mean, of course, like, you want to see an epic sci-fi in theaters, but I want to see every movie in theaters. It sets an unnerving precedent, I think. Obviously, I'm worried about theaters' ability to bounce back, and I don't think this is helping them. I also think, I don't know, maybe I'm optimistic with vaccines rolling out and shit that, like, going to the theater will be a normal thing by the end of 2021. I don't know. Maybe it won't be. Maybe it'll never be. But, I don't know. I don't know. Who's your favorite Glee character? Well, the boring answer is the right answer. It's Sue Sylvester. I mean, she's the only... I'm only on season 3, admittedly, but she's the only character who we're still peeling back. We're still, revealing new aspects of her character. When was the last time we learned anything about Will Schuester? When was the last time Finn and Rachel had anything to do, particularly Finn? They definitely have the most fun writing Sue's dialogue, but that's just the way Sue sees it, right? Who's the best upcoming director? Well, I don't know who's upcoming, as in hasn't directed anything yet, but will. In terms of up-and-coming director, of course, I'm inclined to say Eugene Kotlyarenko. I think Spree was a pretty big milestone for him. And just today, he released a new surprise film called We Are. You should go check that out. The Lost Masterpiece. Eugene's a really good director. I think he taps into some sort of systemic digital problems that are surprisingly in touch with the real world, not just like a generational thing. Like, it's hard for anyone to sort of hit the nail on the nose like he does, and he does it in a really impressive and scathing way. I don't know. I mean, I've made a few videos about Eugene by now. He's great. You don't need me to tell you he's great. In the Eugene circle, however, if the question is about upcoming directors, I hear Dasha Nekrasova directed a film that's coming out at some point, so that's something to be excited about. What are your thoughts on the Israel-Palestine conflict? Well, as much as the world probably needs to hear my informed and nuanced take on the Israel-Palestine conflict, I did say I was only going to do 2 questions per person, and if you check the timestamps, unfortunately, my hands are tied. Sorry. But, someone's got to free Palestine. Any new or upcoming actors that you have become a fan of lately or excited for their next performance? Trying to think of anyone kind of new to the scene that I've seen and been impressed by. First person that comes to mind, isn't exactly new to the scene, but I think Harry Melling has kind of reinvented himself in the past couple of years. I remember being really surprised in The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. He gives like one of the best performances in that movie, and that's like an all-star ensemble cast. I mean, I think he's really making a name for himself. Well, I guess Joe Keery gives a knockout performance in Spree, movie of the year, streaming on Hulu. What's your posture on streaming services? I don't know if you mean my general thoughts on them or what my preferred streaming services are. My thoughts on them is that, like, yeah, they're cool. I'm fine with them taking over cable. I mean, as convoluted as it's getting with all these streaming services, it's still cheaper than cable, no ads like cable, depending on, which bundle you get with what. And yeah, we're still at a very early stage for streaming bundles. In terms of which streaming services I like, obviously Criterion Channel is number one, just because, but of the household, the big Netflix, Hulu, Prime, arguably Disney Plus, but not really. HBO Max, yeah, I'd put up there. I'd say Hulu is actually probably my favorite, at least at the moment. I mean, like, people complain about the interface, and I have in the past, because the interface sucks. But the interface sucks on every streaming platform. It's actually surprisingly awful. Netflix used to be pretty good, but they've really regressed, I feel. But the selection on Hulu has just been... It's just... Hulu's just had what I've needed recently, and that's really all you can ask a streaming service to do. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Well, I'll be 26. And of course, 26 is an important age because there are so many people who have done things at the age of 26. I mean, Orson Welles releases Citizen Kane at age 26. I think Steven Soderbergh was 26 when he made Sex, Lies, and Videotape. Not to mention the 27 Club, or the 27 Curse, all these people who accomplished so much by 27. It's easier than ever to make a movie. I would like to have at least one feature film by the time I'm 26. There are no excuses. It's all on me if I don't do that. I mean, like... Fuck. Yeah, I should get on that. Once and for all, is Twin Peaks: The Return a movie or a TV show? You know what? If you want to call it a movie, go ahead and call it a movie. But it's a TV show. I'm sorry to rain on your parade. It's fun to call it a movie. It's fun when Kaedu Cinema lists it as the #1 movie of the 2010s, or whatever the list was. I mean, my whole thing is, like, if you're gonna call that a movie, then there are a lot of other shows you should also call a movie. And, I don't know, I think the discourse around it kind of negates the fact that Twin Peaks originally revolutionized TV. That's what it was known for, aside from just being a great, David Lynch, Mark Frost work. It was known for revolutionizing TV. Somehow it was able to do it again, and people want to call it a movie. I feel like that kind of diminishes the accomplishment. Not to mention how fundamentally it's structured for TV. And I think it not only diminishes the accomplishment of the show, but I think it diminishes TV as a platform. I mean, I'm of the camp that movies and TV are equal. They both have their strengths and weaknesses, and I get just as much out of both. They're both equally profound, and I think the discourse around it is pretty dumb. What's the worst thing you watched in 2020? Well, the worst movie that's come out that I've seen was definitely Artemis Fowl. I mean, Scoob was pretty bad, but Artemis Fowl was somehow just as corporate and somehow just more grating in every aspect. Not to mention, like, there's so much Scooby-Doo shit. Scoob is just like a bad Scooby-Doo thing. This is like the Artemis Fowl adaptation. I only read the first book, but the first book is great. the movie's awful, even if you haven't read the... I'm not gonna turn this into an Artemis Fowl review. The movie's just awful. That's, okay, well, there are a couple incomprehensible movies I watched in March. One is called Necessary Evil with Danny Trejo, and one is called What the Bleep Do We Know? Again, incomprehensible. But you know what? I'll take that over the corporate piece of shit that is Artemis Fowl. Yeah, so I'll say Artemis Fowl is the worst thing I've watched in 2020. That shit sucks. It sucks. It's not good. It is actually bad. In fact, awful. Arguably. Do you have any filmmaking plans outside of YouTube, like career-wise, or is YouTube the only thing you want to do? Yeah, I fucking hope I can do more than YouTube. I mean, look, I like YouTube. You know, I think I've got a good thing going for me on this platform here, but if this is all I'm doing for the rest of my life, I'll be pretty unhappy. I would like to make films. It's the reason I started this channel. I'm grateful for all my viewers and subscribers, but this is not the end game. Whole lot of red, overhyped, or the next Jesus. Well, I feel like it's not really that overhyped. I feel like people aren't really liking it all that much. I mean, I guess it was hyped just by virtue of coming out like a year late, or however late it was. But you know, it's not the next Jesus. It's way too bloated to be the next Jesus. First of all, it's entirely too long. What's your go-to guilty pleasure movie? Well, I don't have any guilty pleasure movies, because every movie I like is objectively and unobjectionably good. Obviously. I guess probably like film bro shit, like Tarantino, I guess. No, here, okay. The real guilty pleasure movies, probably like Annie Hall, or like any Woody Allen or Roman Polanski film. I mean, I've only seen Rosemary's Baby by Roman Polanski, but unfortunately, it's a really good movie. Yeah, those are the guilty pleasures. And pleasure is an awful word to use in context of... Oh, God. Okay, well, moving on. Why do you think people don't like Mank as much as Fincher's other work? I mean, Mank looks kind of weird at times, and also it's just not a very exciting film, which is fine. Obviously, I liked the movie if you watched my last video. But I understand how the lack of momentum going in and out of the movie doesn't sit very well with a lot of people. Also, a lot of people have some problems with the narrative liberties taken, considering the historical events are not exactly portrayed as happened in the film, but it's not like The Social Network was exactly beat for beat, so it probably is more those other things that are bothering people. If you could only watch movies from one country for the rest of your life, what would you pick, not including America? Well, the easy answer would be France, because French New Wave, but, I mean, the powerhouse film countries are what? France, Italy, Japan, South Korea. I might say Italy, honestly. I mean, I recently watched a lot of Antonioni films that are pretty good. Yeah, that's tough. Sure, fuck it. I'll say Italy. Why did you stop doing the Ketchup Awards? Well, first of all, I didn't stop doing the Ketchup Awards. I just held them on Twitter this past year. It was also the second year I did them. You know, things have to sort of stabilize as the years progress. But I don't know if I was just being lazy or if I was too busy with schoolwork or what. I just couldn't organize the ceremony to shoot and edit in time for award season. And so suddenly Oscars night comes around the corner. I'm like, well, shit, I guess all I can do is tweet the Golden Ketchup Awards this year. So, you know, technically I had them. I just didn't do a video. If you're not following the Twitter account, you know, go do that, and you can keep up with all things Golden Ketchup. I can't promise it'll happen this year, as things are strange at the moment. I'll try, but it'll definitely be scaled down. I don't know. We'll see. How are you really? Well, thank you for that question, Xander. I won't divulge my personal life, but I will say I'm not very happy with the state of the channel right now. I'm really not. I'm feeling very uninspired. I don't know. I feel like I have no vision for the channel, creatively, business wise. I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like I'm just pumping shit out right now, and not even at a very fast rate. I mean, it's taking me way too long to put out just a normal review. I mean, with like the ending things video, I could justify releasing that a month after the film because it was like an essay and like, you know, academic and all that shit. But with Mank, like, it's just a normal review. Of course, people aren't gonna watch it anymore. Like, the Mank hype has died down. You know, I made 2 videos this year that I actually really like, and I made 2 videos that got pretty good views. But those are not great numbers. I feel like I'm just sidestepping the whole creative process of the channel, and I think that's important, not just for, you know, the corporate aspect, the branding, engagement, bringing in new audiences, being algorithmically appealing, but, you know, I feel like that's what makes this stuff fulfilling, because it is not fulfilling at the moment. I've talked about this stuff before. It just kind of feels like, you know, I've got all these subscribers and patrons strapped in for the ride, and suddenly I don't know how to drive anymore. And I'm friends with some people on this website whom I'm sure you know, and I feel like they're watching me release all these uploads that just from the start have no chance of taking off, and they're just watching like disappointed parents or like Buccaneers fans or something. I feel like I'm lampooning myself every time I post a video, knowing it's not going to take off, including this one, I guess. I feel like the channel's still just at a very adolescent state right now. It hasn't come into its own. There's no consistent aesthetic, not even a consistent upload schedule. I'd like to develop some sort of format, you know, so people can have a sense of normalcy while watching these videos. So that's what I'm going to try and spend 2021 doing. But that's also what I wanted to spend 2020 doing, and 2019, and 2018. So I don't know. I don't want to be a downer on New Year's Eve. Obviously, the arbitrary calendar date changes nothing in the world. Obviously, things were awful before this year, but there's nothing wrong with being optimistic about, you know, turning a new leaf and all that shit. You know, that's what this holiday's all about. So, you know, go out there. Well, don't go out there. Stay home. Get hammered. Enjoy your night. Yeah, Happy New Year from Taylor J. Williams. I'll try to do better in the future. God, that's enough.